And welcome everyone to the live look at the platform here. Before we go in and click any buttons, I do want to reiterate one thing that Milton covered earlier around shadow AI. Every single business owner I talk to knows their team's already using AI. They're using a free version of GPT, whether it's on their personal phones or on their browsers, right? And if an employee goes in and pastes a client contract or any type of proprietary project plan into a free tool, that data is now out in the wild. It's being used to train the public models. So what you're seeing here on the screen now is HATS AI. We call it your secure AI operating system. It's going to give your team cutting edge power that they want, but within what you can consider like a corporate vault that's going to be managed by you and your managed services partner in IP consulting. So nothing's going to leave that environment. And most importantly, nothing that you enter into this platform is going to be used to train the public AI models. You get the productivity that you're looking for without the privacy nightmare that could come with it. So here we're going to get started in the chat. This is the chat interface, and this is where most of your team will live, at least in the near term with this platform. This isn't just one AI tool. It is a multi-model marketplace. The drop down here, it allows you to switch between up to 67 different AI models. We have the most common featured models listed here. This is all customizable, so you can put whatever models you'd like here under featured. And then we even go as far as categorizing the different models based on the specific use case. So if you're looking to build something out with image generation, we let you know that these 10 models here have the best output for that specific task. So just trying to make it a bit more user friendly.
Joe, can
What?
I ask you? I'm sorry,
Sure.
I'm told you I'm going to interrupt. I know
Yep.
me. Can I ask you to pop into one of those? And let's just, for example, pop into the one around image generation. I want folks to be able to see that even if you say, hey, I'm looking to do an image, I love that we have the attributes that give us additional information. It's still making a recommendation on a featured model for that specific type. So I just wanted folks to be able to see how it pops over into the right panel. This was really important for me as I was coming up to speed on AI, that I didn't have to know one model from another. I don't know which one I like, but I know that you guys are making really good references there.
Absolutely. With 67 models built in, we want to try to help guide users in any way we can, right? So we're giving little clips there on what where the benefits are for each model, and then like JP said, we really just want you to get in there, play around with it, and find what works for you. But kind of touching on the curation of all of these different models and why it matters, right? Instead of paying $20 to $30 a month for four different subscriptions, your team will now have them all in one place. So if Claude is better at creative writing and GPT is better at logic, your team can toggle between them instantly and find the best model for the job. So an example here, I have a prompt that I'm just going to kind of paste in just so that we can see what this looks like. So if you were to go into the chat, paste in a specific prompt here. Here I'm just saying we're launching a new cybersecurity awareness month for our clients. I want 5 subject lines for an email blast and a 200-word intro. You'll see here that this is taking a task that could usually sit on somebody's desk for 3 days or sit on their to-do list, and now we're finishing it in seconds. So this will give you exactly what you were asking for with very basic no code prompting, just natural language prompts, and it'll deliver it again in just seconds. But that's just where we get started is with the chat. And JP alluded to this as he was going through the real power here. And one of the biggest complaints about standard AI is that it's stuck in a box. It only knows what it was trained on months ago, weeks ago. But in the HATS platform, we break those walls down with our tools and our integrations. So to access the tools, you come here and we show a list of all the different built-in tools that we have, everything here from code execution down to Microsoft Learn. These don't require a license, but really the idea is that they're here to help optimize the output of your prompt. So an example here could be web search. If you asked a standard AI about a news event from this morning, it may have to go in and guess or even hallucinate. But with our web search tool enabled, the AI will actually go out, read current web information, and cite its sources. So this is really a research powerhouse built into this tool. I do want to highlight another tool here, and that's the Hats Workshop Assistant. This is extremely powerful. When you're going to be getting started with the chat, you may become curious about what else the platform can do with you. And I'll go through the workshop here shortly and show you a little bit about apps, agents, and workflows. But this tool is going to be your best friend when getting started. You can add it to your prompt and then tell in the chat, prompt exactly what you want it to create, and it's like a magic wand. Depending on the complexity of the app, the agent, or the workflow, it'll then go in and create it or give you step-by-step instructions on how to do it in the platform. And Kim, I know you said you'd be interrupting me, but I do want to put you on the spot here a little bit. You had a great example of how you leveraged this to build, I believe, your alter ego agent.
I did.
So if
I
you could
built
share
an
that with the
alter
team,
ego.
great.
I did. I built an alter ego, and I used the application, the Hats Workshop Assistant, to get started. So, and the reason why that was really easy, and I'm like, hey, listen, I know I want to have an agent that I can go to that really thinks like me, sounds like me, talks like me, knows what I do, knows what kind of outputs I like to see, but I don't really know how to get it going. And it was a little bit intimidating. So I went to that, and it set everything up. I gave it very little prompting, very, very little prompting, and it set it up for me, and it gave me a chance to go in and then start refining it. So I feel like I'm a champion, and I still feel, like I'm just getting started. So thank you for giving me a chance to share.
No, thanks, Kim. That's great. And again, I'll be touching on the apps, agents, and workflows here shortly. But after the tools, I'd like to talk a little bit about integrations. This is where it gets exciting for your business and some of the workflows that we'll be able to create. We can integrate tools that you already use, like Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, or any CRM that you're leveraging. So imagine asking the AI to summarize your last 3 emails from client X or find project notes on my OneDrive. By connecting hats to your data silos, the AI becomes a specialist on your business, not just the general internet. So that's really going to be a key differentiator here, being able to leverage those tools and the integrations. So from here, I am going to navigate over to the workshop.
Not
And while
so fast, Joe. Not so fast.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kim.
I want you to go back to chat. We talked a little bit about those tools. I know we got to really dig into a couple of those tools, but one of the things I think is really powerful, kind of similar to when we were picking out which model we were going to use. I don't know what those tools are. I don't know which of those tools to pick. And so I love the icon that you have right there next to tool selection where it's auto tool. And it says, look, based on your prompt, I'm going to pick that tool for you. And I told everyone that I was going to point out the cool stuff, and I didn't want to miss that.
No, spot on. Thank you, Kim. Things are getting constantly added to the platform. We've added memory, the auto tool feature. We develop very quickly here and effectively. So new things are popping on all the time. So there's going to be tons of fun, different tools added to the platform here. But thank you very much.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, which I think is really powerful here, Joe, is, and I think you'd mentioned it, but we talk about, I don't know which model to use. One of the things I really like is in a chat, if I go in and I ask for something and I've used Claude and I say, hey, I'm just curious how ChatGPT would have responded to that. Would it look different? Would it give me a different feeling that feels more like what I'm looking for? I know it's really easy to do that inline toggle, so that you can kind of take it and split it up and have 2 different chats going on. So this is something that you're looking to say, I don't know which of the models is the best model for me. It's a great way to sample both.
Absolutely. You can go in and prompt Gemini and then do a split chat, prompt Claude on the same exact prompt, and it'll deliver side-by-side results so that you can compare them. So definitely an added benefit to having all of these curated into one. You can really find the tool that best suits. Thank you there, Kim. I appreciate that. So as I go in, I'll navigate over to the workshop here. And while chat is great for general questions, the workshop is where we're going to build more of these custom apps, agents, and workflows that are designed for one specific repeatable task or a sequence of tasks as we get into those workflows there. Here on our platform, it gives you the no-code advantage. So you really don't need to be a developer to build these. IP Consulting can provide guidance on building specific use cases. Your department leads can create them, or power users like Kim can come in and leverage what they learned during onboarding and become SMEs and really help build that AI IQ within the organization. So I always like to use like the HR bot example. So imagine you go in here, you build an agent that's fed only your company's handbook, or insurance policies. So when an employee asks a question, what's our policy on jury duty? The bot can answer instantly using only your data. It won't give them a generic answer from the web. It gives them your answer. So instead of sending an email to HR and potentially waiting a day or so for the information, it's there in an instant. Another one is going in and creating like a sales or marketing bot. There you can build a bot that's been trained on your specific brand voice. So every time it writes a blog post or a proposal, it sounds exactly like your company's like top copywriter. So the benefit is this creates one-click productivity. Instead of writing a 500-word prompt every morning, your team goes up, opens up their marketing bot, and they get straight to work. So once we get everybody into the chat, leveraging it on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be important that we do come in here, and this is where we're going to be able to automate some of those more complex workflows for the business that are really going to help this become a differentiator. I also want to cover in here, we have a phone agent built into the platform. This is extremely straightforward. It's a number that gets established. You set the specific parameters, and it'll take inbound calls and triage them based on the parameters that you set. So whether it's taking calls for your business during off hours or high call volumes, or if you're leveraging it as a business tool to schedule meetings while you and the team are out in the field, there are plenty of different use cases. But I did want to point out that we do have this phone agent built into the platform. Really, the last thing I want to cover here with the group is management. So I want to navigate over to our admin portal and the dashboard. So for the leadership teams on the call, this is really the control center. This is going to give you much needed visibility so that you can see what departments are using AI the most, who your power users are, where's the most efficiency being gained. You can see JP on the call here is the top power user in our demo environment. But really, this is going to allow you to get involved from a leadership perspective to really help drive usage and adoption across your team. Within the org settings here, this is where you can control which models your teams have access to. If you don't want them to have access to all 67 models, you can lock them down. If you only want certain users to have access to the chat and not the workshop, it's all customizable here within the leadership dashboard here, and we can provide very strict guardrails around the organization to even further enhance the security of the platform.
Joe, it's not, your demo's not done. I still have questions.
Yeah, please fire away.
I'd like for you to go back to the workshop. I know we talked about bot a little bit, and I know that that's not terminology that we see in there. And I just want to, I'm real weird about jargon, so I want to make sure when we say bot, we really mean that's an application. Can you help us just at a really high level understand when we would use an application versus a workflow versus an agent?
Sure. So applications provide one output very well. So if you wanted to go in and create an app that would scrape a website and deliver use cases specific to AI, you can go in and prompt it to do exactly that. It'll deliver one output consistently. You can even schedule that out so it can send an email at a certain time based on feedback. There's a lot of different ways to leverage an app, but it provides one distinct output. A workflow normally is going to be a sequence of different applications that may cross different functions and have to be integrated into multiple platforms or multiple, I don't want to say applications in this sense, but applications within your business and your technology stack to provide efficiencies within the org. And then agents, that's where I may have been using the term bot, where it's just it's something that you can interact with to pull data from or to execute commands for you specifically. So those are the three different builds we have available in the workshop: apps, workflows, and agents.
The other thing I'd really like to have you share, Joe, is, it looks a little bit busy on your screen. I think this is another powerful piece that we might be skipping over, is the ability to share those applications and workflows and agents with people inside as well as outside our organization across the rest of the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So within the workshop section, you have shared items, and then um, there's also a community in here that's going through and building out all different types of apps, agents, and workflows. And then we even have them categorized here. So if you go in and you're looking for something specific to finance department or HR, you don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel. You can come here and look at what's already here in those templates and then copy them to your items or shared items where you and teammates can collaborate on them. But really here, and then even within your items that you have, you can create like a favorites. You can create favorites within here. So these are ones that I use daily. This one always pops out as I'm going through the demo. I had my nephew over the weekend, and he made a pizza rating app on here. Sorry, JP. I don't know if that's proper use of of the work tool. But there's just so many different applications. So you have your own workspace within your items, and then the ability to collaborate on builds with team members through this shared space as well.
Thank you for that. And I know that we talked about really kind of the user platform and the modifications that we can make there. We talked about the administrative platform. So if you're a leader, how you can kind of help guide and see everything that's going on, how people are using it. The one thing I want to make sure that we don't forget to touch on is the learning portal.
Absolutely. So this is the first thing most users will be doing when they get access to the platform, is accessing the learning portal here. Within the catalog, they'll be able to pull different trainings that are going to be assigned to them. We do always recommend that everyone starts off with this AI champion certification. This is really basic AI skills, should take anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete. The goal is not to make anyone an AI expert day one, but it's about removing a little bit of fear, showing some practical examples, and just setting a very good baseline for that AI knowledge to grow. From there, you can move to the AI Navigator course. This one, by design, is meant to take about a month's time because it wants you to learn different applications within the platform and then go in and apply them for a period of time, come back, and then just build on that. And then we also have quick skills here. These are great to sharpen your AI skills. They're videos anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes long that have a very specific focus within the platform that, again, will just help continue to raise that AI IQ, which will drive adoption within the organization, which will allow you to get the most out of this platform.
Joe, I might have needed the remedial for the champion session. It took me an hour and 43 minutes, but it's because I kept getting distracted. I kept having to go back and rewatch. But I like how it's segmented up into those smaller bite-sized segments. And I'll tell you, after an hour and 43 minutes, that's when I created my Kira, which is my alter ego agent. So it was worth the time investment for sure.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Thank you, Kim.
All right. I think that we've extracted everything out of your demo. Joe, thank you so much. Please don't hold it against me. All the interruptions and,